Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the golden sun rising over the Nile River. The light shines across endless fields of green, while beyond them, the desert glows like fire. Suddenly, your eyes catch something in the distance. A giant pyramid, its peak glowing under the morning light. Priests walk in silence. Soldiers stand tall with spears in hand. Farmers bow their heads as the royal chariot passes. And at the center of this entire world, there is one figure. Not just a man, not just a ruler. To the people of Egypt, he is a living God. This is the Pharaoh. His words are law. His power shapes destiny. His monuments defy time itself. Today, we dive into the world of the pharaohs of Egypt. Their power, their pyramids, their gods, their daily lives, and the secrets of the Nile that still fascinate us thousands of years later. This is not just history. This is the story of the most extraordinary rulers the world has ever known. The word pharaoh comes from the ancient Egyptian phrase per-ea, meaning great house. At first, it described the royal palace, but with time it became the very title of Egypt's rulers. To Egyptians, the pharaoh was far more than a king. He was chosen by the gods, a son of Ra, the sun god himself. His sacred duty was to maintain Ma'at, the balance, the truth, the cosmic order of the universe. Without Ma'at, there was only chaos. And so the pharaoh was seen as the protector of harmony in the world. This divine role gave him unlimited authority. His commands could build cities, raise armies, and change religions. To disobey him was to disobey the gods themselves. His face was carved into temples larger than mountains. His statues looked down upon his people like an eternal guardian. Pharaohs were men, yes, but they were worshipped as gods in human form. When we think of pharaohs, the first image that comes to mind is the pyramids. But pyramids were far more than giant tombs. They were stairways to eternity. The very first pyramid was built around 2630 BC for Pharaoh Djoser. His architect Imhotep designed something the world had never seen before, a step pyramid, rising layer upon layer toward the sky. Imhotep was so brilliant that Egyptians later worshipped him as a god of wisdom and healing. Then came Pharaoh Sneferu, the master builder. He experimented with pyramid designs. First, the bent pyramid, which changed angle halfway up. Then the red pyramid, the first true smooth-sided pyramid. Sneferu's passion for monuments transformed Egypt forever. But it was his son, Khufu, who built a wonder of the world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Originally 146 meters tall, it was the tallest building on Earth for nearly 3,800 years. Imagine that. Long before the Roman Colosseum, long before medieval cathedrals, long before modern skyscrapers, the Great Pyramid stood as a mountain of stone unmatched by anything else on Earth. How was it built? Historians still debate. Millions of limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, somehow lifted and placed with perfect precision. Some believe massive ramps were used. Others imagine spiral pathways winding around the structure. Recently, hidden chambers and passages were discovered inside, suggesting that the pyramid still guards secrets waiting to be uncovered. But one thing is certain. The Great Pyramid was not just a tomb. It was a cosmic machine. Its sides aligned perfectly with the stars and the cardinal directions. It was built to carry Khufu's soul to the heavens, ensuring his eternal life among the gods. And Khufu was not alone. Pharaohs built across Egypt, temples, statues, obelisks, and palaces. Ramses II, Ramses the Great, was perhaps the most famous. He ruled for 66 years, longer than nearly any other pharaoh. He fought great battles, including the Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites, one of the earliest battles in recorded history. His reign was marked not only by war, but by monuments so grand they still inspire awe. Abu Simbel, a temple carved directly into a mountain, with 4 colossal statues of Ramses himself, still stands as a symbol of his glory. He filled Egypt with his image, ensuring that no one could forget him. To his people, Ramses was the strong bull, the pharaoh who could never be defeated. But pharaohs were not always warriors. Some were builders, artists, and dreamers. One of the most remarkable was Hatshepsut, a woman who rose to the throne in a world dominated by men. She wore the royal crown, even the false beard, to show her power. She expanded trade to distant lands like Punt, bringing back gold, ivory, incense, and exotic animals. Her reign was peaceful, prosperous, and filled with monumental architecture, such as her grand temple at Deir el-Bahari. She proved that leadership was not about gender, but about vision. Hatshepsut is remembered today as one of the greatest pharaohs of all time. But not all pharaohs followed tradition. Some broke the rules. Akhenaten was one such ruler. He shocked Egypt by changing its religion completely. For thousands of years, Egyptians had worshipped many gods: Osiris, Isis, Horus, Anubis. But Akhenaten declared that there was only one god, the Aten, the sun disk. He closed the temples, erased the old gods, and built a new capital city, Amarna, dedicated only to Aten. This was the first attempt at monotheism in history. But his revolution was not popular. After his death, priests destroyed his statues, erased his name, and restored the old gods. Yet Akhenaten remains one of the most mysterious figures in all of history. Then came his son, Tutankhamun, the boy king. Tutankhamun ruled only a short time before dying young, perhaps at 18 or 19. His reign may have been brief, but in modern times, he became the most famous pharaoh of them all. Why? Because in 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered his tomb. Unlike others, it had never been looted. Inside were treasures beyond imagination. A golden mask, jeweled daggers, thrones, statues, and the mummified body of the boy king himself. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb shocked the world, reigniting fascination with ancient Egypt. For us today, King Tut is the face of ancient Egypt, not because of his rule, but because his tomb preserved the splendor of a lost civilization. But what made all this possible was not just the pharaohs. It was the Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt. Without the Nile, Egypt would have been only desert. Its yearly floods brought rich, black soil, perfect for farming. Wheat and barley grew along its banks, feeding millions. Pharaohs claimed to control the Nile. When it flooded, it was a blessing from the gods. When it failed, people feared the pharaoh had lost divine favor. The Nile was more than water. It was power. It was also a highway. Boats sailed up and down, carrying goods and soldiers. From Nubia came gold. From Lebanon came cedar wood. From the land of Punt came incense, exotic animals, and rare treasures. The Nile connected Egypt to the rest of the ancient world, making it rich, powerful, and influential. But pharaohs were obsessed not just with life, but with death and what came after. Egyptians believed in the afterlife, a paradise where the soul would live forever. To reach it, the body had to be preserved. That is why pharaohs were mummified. Their bodies carefully wrapped in linen, their organs placed in sacred jars, their tombs filled with treasures, weapons, food, and even servants. Sometimes real, sometimes statues. Everything a pharaoh might need for eternity was buried with him. To Egyptians, death was not the end. It was the beginning of a new life. A pharaoh did not simply die. He became a god, joining Ra in the sky, sailing in the solar boat through the heavens. The pyramids, the Valley of the Kings, the grand temples, all were built to prepare for this eternal journey. Even today, when you stand before the pyramids of Giza, you feel small. They are not just monuments of stone. They are messages from the past. They whisper of kings who believed they were gods, of civilizations that dreamed of eternity, of people who believed their names would never die. So what makes the pharaohs unforgettable? Their power, yes. Their monuments, yes. But above all, their vision. They believed history itself would remember them. And they were right. Thousands of years later, we still speak their names. Khufu, Ramses, Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun. They still live, not in flesh, but in memory. Now let me ask you this. If you could meet one pharaoh, Khufu the builder, Ramses the conqueror, Hatshepsut the queen, or Tutankhamun the boy king, who would you choose? And why? Write your answer in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Because here, history is not just the past. We bring it back to life. And the next story may change how you see the world forever.